Remember the war in Vietnam and protesting that war? Most people alive today, I imagine, only know that from the history books or from classes and stuff. They don't, it's, the ones who remember it personally are getting less and less. Now, I'm one who remembers it personally. I'm 79 years old. And why I'm talking about the war in Vietnam right now is because the protesting of it came eventually up to a fever pitch. And now we have protesting which is needed at that level, not for a hot war like that, but for the trade war, most specifically Trump's trade war. Now it's bigger than that. I mean, it's complicated because the issue, as I keep saying again and again, is the environment. It's global warming. It's what humans have done and continue to do to the future of life on Earth, to Gaia. It needs to be protested. But why I think of Vietnam is because at that time, there was a conflict that people had to go through. Was it anti-American to protest what the Americans were doing? And it seems so. I mean, there were slogans like "America, love it or leave it." I mean, there was this was a hot matter, and as I say, most people probably don't remember it personally. Now, when it came to the point, to so many Americans, it appeared that what America was doing in Vietnam was wrong. Basically, Americans were fighting on the wrong side. It was a wrong thing to do. And when the government then brought in the draft, where young men were, what is a fancy word for it? I can't think of the bigger word, but they were drafted into the army to go fight that war. And so they were going to have to do that whether they liked it or not. America, love it or leave it, you know. America, right or wrong. Well, America was wrong. And, you know, in my case, basically you had, if you were drafted, eventually you drew numbers, and it was by lottery who would go. Nobody really, well, there were some that wanted to go, but it wasn't a volunteer army then. They had to be drafted. And I think the same sort of thing is going on in Russia now, I think. But your options were accept it and go kill Vietnamese people for a wrong cause with all those weapons, and go to jail, go to prison for, I think, 2 years, it would have been the prison term, or go to Canada, or do things like shoot a toe off your foot. I mean, there were all kinds of things that were done, but it was extreme. But why I'm talking about this now is because, you know, I had just posted a video about join the world boycotting American products. Well, that seems so unpatriotic. Is that an American thing to do? To do something that would be appear to be to hurt America and join that and try to hurt America? What kind of an American are you? See, it's the same kind of an issue. And, you know, I'm not going to be at all surprised if Trump ends up creating a war, a hot war. He needs an enemy to people for that people believe in to help him, and so he'll try to make China an enemy, or eventually maybe Russia. Now it's kind of the opposite, or Venezuela. Find an enemy. The homeless, an enemy. Find an enemy. Create these enemies. It's hard. Well, now I also think of Jane Fonda, I think it was, that you might know about her. She actually went and visited North Vietnam at that time, and I think the American troops just hated the fact that she did that. But it was a form of protest. She was going to visit them, supporting them, in a way, supporting America's enemy. And the whole thing back then was communism. the the spread of communists, the domino theory. Capitalism was so superior. Well, I see a lot of similarity in the situation that's growing here. And I think Americans are going to have to confront that, to act in a way that may seem un-American. Don't buy American. Don't do it, to stop this government and to stop this economy from what it's doing. It's really quite a dilemma. In a way, though, the protesting itself should be much, much easier back than it was back in the days of Vietnam. Just stop buying. Stop being a consumer. Put an end to the consumer economy. You'll be better off for it in the long run. You'll be happier. Just stop. I mean, it's like kicking a drug habit all of a sudden. It's not going to be easy. As a matter of fact, it may be extremely difficult for so many people. But in the end, it can be done fairly quietly, but it'll have its effect. Drive consumer confidence down, drive consumer spending down. It would be like bleeding away Trump's imagined power that he has with these terrorists and picking fights all over the world. Well, I haven't been eloquent on this, but I felt that I had to speak about it. You may seem to be acting, and you may be called un-American for some of what you really need to be doing. Bye for now.